can you imagine having world-renowned artwork being destroyed out of one of the most precious, iconic buildings in your country? Then, when you beg for your belongings back, the thieves say you have no rightful claim to them? It's craziness. What if I told you that the thief was one of the world's leaders, Great Britain, and that it wasn't just any piece of art? Think of the buildings of Greece. I bet you just thought of the Parthenon. These were marbles that were violently cut out of the Parthenon that are currently on display on the British National Museum, and Greece wants them back. Now, there's some historical context behind this. In the year 1800, Thomas Bruce, the Lord of Elgin and British diplomat to the Ottoman Empire, was sent to Greece and brought a team of workers with him to cut out pieces of the Parthenon with the intention to take them to Britain to progress their fine arts, as well as to decorate his home. According to a historian Moore, eyewitness accounts record that Elgin's workers sawed through the Parthenon, pounded with chisels to remove pieces attached to the building, end quote. According to the British Museum itself, the stolen Greek marbles make up more than half of the entire preserved Parthenon artworks. Furthermore, the British government claims that they were given permission to take the marbles. The explanation is that the Turks gave the Lord of Elgin permission and actually even helped him steal the marbles from Greece. This is incredibly important for a variety of reasons, but the most important being that outer society understands the continuous Turkish oppression of the Hellenic peoples. Turkey is responsible for a Holocaust of Greece, ethnically cleansing our people and keeping them enslaved for centuries. In any other circumstance, precious valuables stolen from a victim nation would lead to worldwide outcry, and the country responsible for that would be immediately embarrassed and return the items, such as in the case of many of the stolen Jewish art at the hands of the Axis powers. However, not only has the world neglected to recognize the entirety of the Greek genocide, to date only 8 countries have, but it also neglects to advocate for the fact that the marbles were never Turkey's to ever give away. The University of Hawaii estimates that since World War I, Turkey has annihilated 703,000 Greeks. This doesn't even take into account the centuries before that Turkey refused to allow Greeks to practice their religion, speak their language, or even regarded their humanity. It has never been okay for the oppressor to take credit for the artifacts of the people that they enslaved. And by using Turkey as an excuse to keep the stolen artifacts, Britain not only sides with the enslaver, but continues to belittle Greece's rights as a fellow NATO country. Just this week, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis had a meeting planned with the British PM Rishi Sunak, who promptly canceled it at the last minute and stated that, quote, the marbles remain a huge asset to the UK, and the marbles belong to the British Museum, end quote. And that the only possibility of Greece ever getting them back would be if they were temporarily loaned. Sia Agnostopoulou, Greece's cultural spokeswoman, said that she, quote, opposed any deal that did not make it clear that the marbles are Greece's rightful property, and that a loan would be unacceptable as it is a matter for all Greeks' dignity, just as it would be for the British people if they were asked to temporarily borrow back stolen pieces of Stonehenge, end quote. Now, to make up for the wrongs of the Greek people and the nation as a whole, the British government needs to return every single Greek artifact from the British Museum back to its rightful place in the Acropolis, just as Greece has asked them to. If Britain returns the marbles, they'll be restored in Athens, right in the designated spots that the Acropolis Museum has waiting for them. Greece would continue to be a NATO ally to Great Britain, and they even agreed to, quote, supply the British Museum with a rotating selection of priceless artifacts, some of which have never left Greece, quote, and that's according to the New York Times. But despite the oppression at the hands of both Turkey and Britain, Hellenism still thrives, just like it thrived underground during the 400 years of enslavement by Turkey, and it thrives through the world-renowned Greek art that makes up the very core of the best of Hellenism, the best of which being the Parthenon marbles. As Melina Mercouri, the Greek Oscar-nominated actress, stated, quote, "The marbles are an integral part of a monument that represents the national spirit of Greece. You, Britain, must understand what they mean to us. There are pride, there are sacrifices, they are the very essence of our Greekness," end quote. It's not just a story about taking art. It's about ignoring a country's rightful ownership of their artifacts and subsequently stomping upon a less powerful country. It's Britain keeping their unethical colonizing roots alive in the modern day. You can support Greece through continuing the conversation, educating others, and advocating for the marbles to be returned to their birthplace. Help restore what should have never left Greece. Thank you.